seen a gorilla get bullied by a little fucking gorilla? Isn't their whole thing like alpha? You have to be big. Da 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 da. This is the rule.
I
And then you
believe
have,
so.
but then you have these people trying to identify with animals. But then the second you call them a she, and they get so super offended, they're telling you that you're being violent. So my point. See, this is ranting. So my point.
Yay, ranting.
So my point is, how the fuck could you sit there in one argument? Just because it's happened, that doesn't mean it's the majority of the time.
Oh yeah.
I still didn't turn my camera on, apparently.
No, I'm just waiting to go live.
My bad. Fuck. Okay.
I don't want
My
non-participant
camera not
videos.
working?
Your camera's not working.
What the fuck?
What did you do?
Wait, what is that symbol?
No cams allowed.
It's a
Is it-
cam-free
Does
zone.
it actually look like no cams allowed? Yeah, see, there's a little line.
No,
No,
the symbol above that. What is that? Looks like Taskmaster or something.
That's kind of neat. I can't tell you.
I want candy.
You want some candy?
Ooh,
I
candy.
had this discussion last night, actually, with Paul. That, oh, there we go. Yay.
Josh is back.
Let's down a bit. Let's just take this out for any Quebecer that knows what that is.
What?
I just had, one of the smoking substances
Ah.
containers. Yeah, whatever.
It looks
Trying
like
to be
it
Friend
looked
family.
like Motrin. That's all. It's Motrin.
Yeah, that's exactly.
Putting my Moltron aside.
It's for your glaucoma. It's for your glaucoma.
Oh, my glaucoma. Curses. Curse all
Glaucoma.
the glaucoma.
Not glaucoma.
How the hell do you
glaucoma.
turn off this thing again?
Ah, the
There you go.
glaucoma.
Well, actually, I figured out a way to allow that shit. Like, if you wanted to share something and not have it fuck up my stream on my end, to have multiple squares. Anyways, doesn't matter.
Well, I'm gonna turn off the stream and. Ah, God damn it!
Yeah.
Press the button. I pressed the button. What? Don't
Look
switch.
at this man pressing the button.
Why did it go to a different channel now? It went to a different, not different channel, but different source. I accidentally clicked the wrong button because I have a a switcher at the bottom that allows me to switch whichever input I want. So if I want my screen on my left over here to be like, hey, I want my computer screen. I press the button and it's just my computer screen. Oh, I want to play a video game or one of my consoles? Press the other button and it goes to one of my other consoles. It's nice. Makes transitioning through things a lot simpler.
It's just a hub, isn't it? Anyways.
Yeah, pretty much.
And I want to set up like that. I really want to get a stream deck because it'll be a lot easier to do the like changing scenes and that kind of stuff without having to actually go back to the platform. But
Yeah, I might want to switch it so that there we go. People can see me rather than a black screen. Because that's all it was a second ago.
Oh, you.
Oh, me.
Oh, you.
Man.
Oh, us.
You know
Yeah.
what? You know what's the one thing I hate about
Boy.
the Streamlabs things is that you
When?
can't view the Twitch chat and the multi-stream chat at the same time.
Mm.
You have to click on one or the other, and I find that kind of poopy.
Okay, well now I what's going really? Now it's giving me this weird issue?
Yep.
Okay. Why is it doing this?
You were streaming the whole time.
Oh wait, I know what to do. I'm gonna put you in this window here.
Oh.
Maximize you. There we go. Now I can do stuff elsewhere. This thing's so weird, I swear. Anything I do with Discord and Streamlabs, they just do not want to work with each other.
I don't know if it's Streamlabs or if it's Discord, because everybody on Twitch or any other streaming platform says that Streamlabs is bleh. Like
Yeah.
they don't like it, so I'm like, okay. I mean, I enjoy it, but I don't know what else there is. And then everybody else says that Discord's fucking trash, but I don't know what else there is besides Discord.
I mean, I feel Discord is the staple communication place to be at. So I'm guessing Discord is here to stay, but I'm sure there's better streaming service or platforms or whatnot you can use. Programs.
But
Program.
But I guess that it's like when you're the leader of it all. Like, you know, when you're the leader of the pack. Like, let's say you're Bell, you own all the fucking lines. You're rented out to Rogers and everybody else. Everybody hates you by default. I don't know.
Yeah.
So yeah. So as the title of the stream listed, the biggest fall from grace, video game edition. So we thought we would go ahead and decide and shit on some developers today or franchises. Because they are assholes.
Assholes.
And yeah, no, it's just so the way that we wanted to do this, well, we're gonna pick two. I don't think anyone we didn't talk about it. We didn't like say what we're gonna nominate, but I'm pretty sure we're gonna double up on some.
Oh, for sure. Oh, for sure.
Because the reason why I think it'll be interesting is because if the same one comes up all three times, then we know that one is absolute dog shit. So, which I think there's a possibility. So so yeah. So I you know what? I don't want to limit it to just a production company or a developer. If you also want to say like a franchise, like a real fall from grace, like something that started off fantastic and then it just turned into, I don't know, like Call of Duty. Like, well, example, it's not on my list, but like for example, Call of Duty just introduced Nicki Minaj as a skin. So it's like, yes.
What?
From I remember the first Call of Duty.
Why?
The first Call of Duty, the World War II shooter. Like when you died, there would be a quote on the screen from like the president saying "honorable soldiers do such and such." Fast forward 2023, Nicki Minaj on the battlefield. Yeah, that's Call of Duty for you now.
Why though?
Who wants to kick us off? Who wants to start? What is the biggest fall from grace in your opinion?
Blizzard Entertainment. Blizzard.
Okay,
Those guys.
Hybrid's going.
I feel
Hybrid's
like
going.
someone in the back row is saying Blizzard.
I think someone's saying hit. I think there's a rant.
Fall from Grace. When I think Fall from Grace, I immediately think Blizzard. Yeah.
Is it because they touch people?
Yeah.
Why?
That part of it too. That's definitely up there.
Just
don't do that.
basically, Blizzard is like, how can I put this? Okay, since we're all semi old, right?
Yeah.
We know things. So like, Blizzard was Bill Cosby. You're watching the Cosby Show. You're like, wow, this is some fantastic, wholesome stuff. Very family oriented. They're trying. Oh, it's funny. Ha ha ha. Then you fast forward later and you find out you diddled people. That's basically Blizzard.
Yeah.
That's basically Blizzard. Like, you went from like making Warcraft, Starcraft, World of Warcraft, all that stuff. Dan's losing it. And then what happens? You find out, and then Overwatch shows up. You're like, oh damn, it's Overwatch. It's great. Diablo 3, whatever. But then like stuff starts happening, right? You're like, okay, they're progressing. The games are getting kind of better. Whatever. Then they started introducing like pay stuff, like, okay, here's the season pass to XYZ, here you get it. Like, the expansions are no big deal because at least they delivered more stuff. Like, look at StarCraft and Brood War. You got a couple new units, you had a whole new story, all that stuff. Like, you got your money's worth and it wasn't overly expensive. But then you have like Diablo 3 where you're like, okay, cool, here's your extra stuff. You have to pay for this, 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 this. Oh, by the way, here's an expansion where you also have to pay this, this, this. You have a battle pass, you have this, whatever. But then you overlook that. Overwatch comes out, you have loot boxes. It's fine. You have loot boxes, you could get skins and so on. Cosmetics, people like decorating stuff.
Yeah.
And then you find out there's all these harassment suits to presidents treating people like shit. There's cliques. There's women getting touched. There's racism. There's this. You're like, what the fuck is happening? Like, is this why your games are suffering?
Wasn't there something about like some esports players who said something against Blizzard and they immediately lost their titles or something?
About, like Hong Kong or like Free Hong Kong or something.
Oh, is that what it was? Okay, yeah.
There's something like that, and then the guy got banned. He got his prize taken away. I'm like, what the fuck? Because he had an opinion, aren't you like some Californian company that preaches to have opinion and an identity and embrace this and what you could change for the world and XYZ, but then you find out the president's a greedy asshole.
Yeah,
but to burst your bubble there, California is kind of it's slowly becoming that woke state now.
Yeah, no, I'm talking about
slowly becoming. What the fuck? They're the
slowly,
boiling point of it. It's
okay. Look. When I had like a height of Blizzard, it was during World of Warcraft time because they had their campus. They had a campus where people would go and work at. They had places where you could chill and relax when you just felt mentally fatigued. You had like benefits to go in it. You had a giant ass statue of an orc holding a hammer. I think it was Thrall, I believe.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you have all this. It was a place you want to be working at. And then a decade later, you find out that place you wanted to be working at, you could have either been called something or a part of the wrong clique, or you might have said something and now you have a lawsuit and there's a bunch of scandals and you guys got bought by a different company who's insanely greedy and wants you to do what you don't want to be doing. You know what I mean? Like, if I had to say Fall from Grace, it would definitely be that. Like after, what was it, Wrath of the Lich King, I believe, when Activision bought them, right? Ever since then, they have been doing this, and then Diablo 3 came out, and then started doing this. Let's go to move this over here, and then a Diablo Immortal came out, and it just went like this, and then Overwatch came out, and it's like, oh, that's cool. And then it started doing back to this because the regular corporate greed bullshit started kicking in. Then you find out Jesse.
It wasn't as noticeable like when Overwatch kind of came out. And then it became more so when, what was it, Warcraft 3, the remaster, the remake, or whatnot, where like they literally shoved a massive dildo in your ass and forced you to get another game.
Was it
like, here you go, you have to get another game or you're not playing it anymore?
Was it Blizzard who made that iconic statement, don't you guys have phones? That was Blizzard, right?
Yep.
I'm not crazy.
Yep. That was for the whole Diablo Immortal.
Oh man.
Yeah, it's like every step they've taken, especially since Overwatch, like with the Overwatch League and this, they've been just trying to get money more than trying to create games. You went from playing a game you wanted to anticipate, looking forward to, whatever, and then you play it and you're like, wow, like remember the first time you played StarCraft 2 and you're like, damn, this is cool.
Yeah.
Remember the first time you started playing World of Warcraft and how into it you got for like 2-3 expansions? And then Mr. Pandaria comes out, you're like, okay, Kung Fu Panda, no big deal, but then you find out it's hard shit, and then the next expansion's even worse, and then and nothing changes, like they stopped caring about the quality of their games just to please the quality of other people's wallets or bank accounts.
Yep.
And to me, that's definitely a fall from grace. Like nobody, okay, this is going to shift a little bit, but I find that nobody really has integrity nowadays. They'd rather just sit there, dumb themselves down, and sell out rather than actually stand up for a better product, for a better future.
So what you're
like
saying is
we were talking about hovering cars. We're getting like hovering cars, but now we're talking about like the newest fucking cell phone where you could sit there and be trendy and be and social media like, dude, if someone hacked the internet right now and shut it right the fuck off, I almost guarantee half the Western population would kill themselves.
I wouldn't say half, but it'd be mighty close.
You know what I mean? Like so many people would be immediately lost because they'd never grown up without it.
Yeah, that's all they know.
But yeah, it's just, anyways, the great decline of corporation greed, whatever, blah, if you want to say it. But still, that's my decline choice, Blizzard. So,
all right, PT, who's your first up?
I'm gonna have to go with what's it, EA. I mean, again,
It's
the same
inevitable.
thing. Like
It's inevitable.
they kind of, yeah, I know they were kind of up there. They started out like so great with like a lot of their games way back in the like the Command and Conquer series.
I'm gonna jump in there
Uh,
with you on Red Way.
yeah,
My first pick is also EA. Like to say like they're trash, but I'll let you finish first.
no, they just started off like solid, like up until I would say either what like mid PS2, PS3 era. Like they were solid. They were on top of their game. Almost everything they were bringing out was a banger after banger, even up until like Mass Effect. And then like they've slowly, well, up until more recently, have just gone downhill with a lot of their Star Wars stuff, microtransactions, releasing shoddy games. Like the Mass Effect Andromeda was just a entire mess of a game. After releasing the entire trilogy, and from beginning to end, it was pretty solid up until the end of the third one. But yeah, all the games that they were bringing out for a good while was like fantastic, and then they just slowly dipped off the face of the earth. Even like games like Dragon Age, I didn't play much of them, but the one that I did play, I had a lot of fun with,
Mhm.
and even those are just kind of fallen off the face of the earth. I remember, what was it like? Any of the Need for Speed games were a blast to play. Even the Underground series was fantastic. I had so much fun with it. Like, even though I wasn't really much of a car guy, it was just such a fun game to play at the time.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's funny how Hybrid was mentioned how they just went corporate, like how there's no integrity anymore, like you were saying earlier.
Yeah.
There's no honesty and that kind of stuff. Well, EA is like the fucking founding fathers of shit video game management. It's like that's who they are.
Oh
Uh,
yeah.
like
I don't think they've released like a proper game like freaking the longest time.
no,
Uh,
I don't think they have.
FIFA.
what?
Well, that's
But
exact.
FIFA.
That's
Oh, okay,
exactly where I
FIFA.
was going, man. It's that
That's all that they seem to release now. I think that's basically the only thing that's keeping their company afloat is because you have a lot like that. I don't really want to call them suckers because I mean everyone likes sports games. They're kind of fun to like pick up and like play with your friends every now and then. But
no.
I can't
Gamers
invest.
that buy sports games, fuck them. No, like the people that buy those yearly releases, you're fucking morons. Okay, you pay 80
I
bucks
don't.
for a new skin, or they change a number on a shirt. That's all you paid for. How many fucking times have I seen a Madden commercial? It was like the grass is more realistic next year. The grass is more realistic, and it's like, okay, fuck, well done. It's the same fucking thing. And it's hilarious when you see videos come out from EA, not from EA, from YouTubers highlighting how shitty EA is, where they were playing Madden 2022, and in the stadium that they were playing, in the rafters of the stadium, you could see the banner for Madden 2019. Like they didn't even
Yeah,
bother. They didn't bother to fucking change it. You bought the
yeah,
same
I forgot
fucking
about that.
game. It's the dumbest thing
Uh,
I've ever seen.
this is also what annoys me too. I even just remember this is also the company that legitly fucked over Dead Space
Yeah,
like entirely.
yeah,
Like the
Yeah.
first one was fantastic. The second one still pretty damn good in its own right, and then the third one just freaking bombed. It had neat ideas, but all around it just bombed. It was
Yep.
just so bad. And then they're like, "Oh, whatever, you guys screwed it up, so we're just gonna get rid of you and no more Dead Space 4."
absolutely.
After
And
Like
that's
that.
so the two things about there's two things about EA. Number one is their fucking greed is ridiculous. How
yeah,
everything is monetized, and then there was that whole fucking backlash on the first Star Wars Battlefront. Well, the first one of the new generation,
yeah,
because the original Battlefront 1 and 2 was fantastic,
yeah,
and then you have the
they're
new
still classic.
Battlefront 1 and 2, which are just I mean, there's a fucking reason why they gave it away for free now. So it's
Yeah.
like they realize like, oh shit, we made a pay to play game. Don't charge them for it. It's a mobile game disguised as a PC game. We fucked up. And
Oh my god.
so and the amount of studios that they killed, like all the games that you were naming, PT, it's like they killed so many studios. Like for instance, you were talking about the first like Undergrounds, the first Most Wanted, that
Need
kind
for
of stuff.
Speed,
Well,
most
the
of
Need
Need
for
for
Speed
Speed
games, yeah.
yeah, at the beginning they were coming out. I wouldn't say fairly regularly, but when they
Mhm.
came out, they were almost always like a pretty solid game in their own right.
Yeah, it was all a company
And
called Black
then
Box Games. And
okay,
Black Box Games was the ones responsible for making it. When EA bought them, they fucking took him out in the back, shot him in the head, and milked the franchise for as much as they can get. And it turned into shit. They did the same thing with Pandemic Studios, responsible for games that I like Mercenaries, Full Spectrum Warrior. They've ruined them also. Westwood, the Red Alert franchise.
Oh,
They fucking
no
they
kidding.
destroyed that company. They bought them,
I
run them
still
into the
remember when
ground.
there was legit competition between like which one was the better RTS between them and StarCraft because they were both
Yeah.
like biggest RTSs around.
Yeah, and now fucking Red Alert's on your phone, and it's a tower defense game. that's what EA did with Westwood. That's how stupid they are. And then you have they own Maxis, the Sims franchise, SimCity, Sims, all that stuff.
Yeah.
I'm actually curious. I want to go check this out right now. I want to know how much would it cost if I wanted to go in and buy everything that is available for The Sims right now.
Oh my god, yeah, I know. I don't remember
curious
which
to know
one
how
it
much
is.
that
There's
would
one of
cost.
them that's got like 30 expansions or
Yeah.
something like that.
And they're like
It's-
they're like $40 each.
Yeah.
I'm curious.
But I don't know. I don't know if this is like the Sim City series or it's literally the Sims series where
No,
you're
this
like you're
the
making-
Sim series
the
is what I'm
Sims,
keeping.
the Sim series. Okay, yeah, that wouldn't surprise me.
Oh, okay. I see what they're doing. Gotcha.
What?
So The Sims is now free to play. I didn't know that.
So what they basically did, like what Mortal Kombat or not Mortal Kombat, Killer Instinct did is like, here you go, the game's free to play, but if you want to get the extra stuff, here you got to pay for it.
Oh my god, this is ridiculous.
Yeah.
So they have
Well-
70 items.
Killer Instinct was more like Brawlhalla.
Yeah, no,
Where you have,
and
like,
they
a
did
rotation
a
of
better.
characters.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay,
Yeah.
so the
They had
total amount
better rotation about it.
for The Sims 4, if you get all the expansions, which is just fucking skins, okay? If you get everything, it's $1,630.
What?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah. Dude,
What?
that's fucking trash, man. You are
Like,
you are a shit company. And listen to the
my
names.
God.
Listen to the names, okay? And what are you getting for that price? You're getting The Sims 4 bathroom clutter kit, The Sims 4 tiny living stuff, the Sims 4 eco lifestyle. Like what
so
the
it's just
fuck
like
is
extra
all
stuff
this?
you can buy for your house and.
Yep.
I-
Yep.
Uh,
$1,600 for The Sims, man. That's the
can't-
dumbest thing I've
I
ever
can't-
heard.
I can't justify like buying just any of that stuff.
And then to top it all off, the other studio, was it Black Box Games? It was Black Box Games. They were responsible for some of the best Battlefields, like Battlefield 3 and all that stuff. That was all them, and they fucking ruined it. They wanted to shove in their Battle Royale and their Battle Passes and all that fucking garbage, and now it's just I don't think they've been embroiled in any sexual harassment lawsuits, but
Yeah.
yet or
you know what? You can pretty much say it is considering like every time you seem to buy an EA game right now, you kind of get
But EA have no reason to change course. They have no reason to change course at all because all those games that we used to like, from Need for Speed to Dragon Age to even the fucking the Battlefields.
It's pretty much a game for like every genre in their whole thing. Like if you like, hey, you want to play an RPG? Okay, enjoy Mass Effect. Oh, you want to play a shooter? Play Battlefield. What's that? You want to play racing? Here's Need for Speed.
Yeah,
they had like games in every category you can kind of get into, and they screwed all of them.
Yep.
Because
where's my Def Jam fight for the Bronx or something?
Oh.
Def Jam fight for LA.
No shit.
Because if I'm
Where's
not
that
mistaken,
with the expansion Atlanta? I want to see my rappers kick the crap out of each other.
Because if I'm not mistaken, if I look it up,
the Ultima series show. They had the Ultima series.
So if you have all those titles and all those games and that kind of stuff running for you, and then you have just your subsidiary EA Sports running, like, and you have the fucking drones that keep buying those games every year. I'm looking it up right now, and from what I could see from a quick snapshot, it says that in 2022, EA Sports earned $7.4 billion last year. Do you know how much money Ubisoft earned last year?
I don't know. How much?
1.8 billion.
Wow.
Activision Blizzard, 7.53 billion. So it made more. Activision Blizzard made 7.53. Okay, EA Sports made 7.4. But EA Sports is a fucking subsidiary. It's one part of the company. It's, you know what I mean? Like that's how ridiculous their esports thing is. So to me, EA, it's the biggest fall from grace because they were fantastic. Early Battlefield, early Underground, Star Wars, it was all fantastic. And now today, for me, they're strictly a sports company. That's all they are. They're just a sports company for drones. Like if they like no, it's dumb. Like there's no reason to buy an EA property game anymore, and they're never gonna come back from it. When they make that much money with a subsidiary, that's it. It's over. They're not gonna come back. So EA shit list first pick.
Well,
all that.
Second. Who
covers
got
such
hybrid?
broad stuff, but damn, I draw a blank right now because those are two really good ones.
Oh yeah.
Oh shit.
That covers so much because even if I wanted to say like a minor game, most of the games I've played.
I feel bad that I feel like we kind of just like went with the two biggest ones.
You know what?
That are out
I
there.
got one.
Okay,
I got
go
a
ahead.
little down for game. Okay, how about the Soul Calibur series?
Okay.
Oh, okay.
So,
Wait,
yeah. And here,
is that Namco?
Yeah,
Bad Dye,
but
yeah.
I'm being specific then because
Okay.
I look here, it says gaming edition, so I'm gonna name a game.
Exactly.
A series. So, Soul Calibur, it started off with Soul Edge. Soul Edge was relatively a little unknown, like unless you played it on PlayStation or Dreamcast, which people had it, but it wasn't as like popular as having like say a PS4, PS5 now, right?
Mhm.
So, regardless, it started off as more of an unknown game, but whatever. It gained a little bit of traction. Then Soul Calibur 2? No, Soul Calibur came out. I have to be specific. Yeah, Soul Calibur came out. And then it was like a new, like, revolutionary type of game. Like, you can move up? Like,
3D realm?
you know, like,
Ring
I can't
out?
believe these people are fighting with swords. There's a ring out?
Yeah.
Like people were like, okay, genuinely interested. Then Soul Calibur 2 hit, and it became widely popular.
Oh yeah.
Like it's like this game just showed up, and then it was a contender to fight like Street Fighter, Tekken, Mortal Kombat, and all that shit. Like it was popular. I remember like being obviously younger. I remember being in my technically teens, and I went to a place in Agrignon. If you're from there, if you know the area, you know the area because you know Twitch. But anyways,
What's
but
an
yeah.
angry young?
But anywho, there was an arcade there, and I was playing Soul Calibur 2 all the time. Like, yeah, I could go to school, or I could play Soul Calibur 2, which I played a lot of Soul Calibur 2. I met a couple people who played. We had like mini tournaments and everything. It was fun, and it was generally a good time to go to the arcades at the time. So anyways, Soul Calibur 3 hit. It was still like pretty popular. It had new stuff, etc., etc. Then Soul Calibur 4 came out, and that's when the peak started kind of going like around here. That's where the peak was kind of built. And then Soul Calibur 5 downwards, Soul Calibur 6 down, and then.
But
yeah.
why? Why did it start going down?
I think it was just plain overshadowed by the fact that Namco also had Tekken.
Oh, they self-cannibalized.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because most of the resources that were in Soul Calibur just went right back to Tekken because Tekken was more popular.
Mhm.
And then basically the directors, devs, whatever, they just stopped caring for Soul Calibur. They're like, okay, cool, Soul Calibur 4, we're just going to remove a little bit more. Soul Calibur 5, we'll just remove it and throw in Ezio. Soul Calibur 6 is cool because at least it's recent, and it was good, but it was still gutted. Even though they were trying to be like 2, it was still gutted. Like 2 and 3 were probably like the biggest peak, and then 4 had Star Wars, and then it just went down. And the biggest cause, from what I can recall, is that all the resources were just going from Soul Calibur to Tekken because Tekken was contending at the time, like with the big tournaments and against like Mortal Kombat, Street Fighter, and popularity, all that stuff.
Yeah, they were trying to keep in there with like being the sole 3D 3D fighter that was like you could actually get into.
Yeah, because like if you had to say like the biggest powerhouses in fighting games, you would have to say Street Fighter, Mortal Kombat, and Tekken.
Yeah.
Not even Virtual Fighter. And if I just, by the way, Virtual Fighter is a very, very close second. I just like Soul Calibur more, but Virtual Fighter is another series that just went.
I think it was the one that started it all, but then it just kind of became like a fun arcadey fighting game.
Like Soul Calibur, Virtual Fighter 1 and 2 were phenomenally great because it was like the 3D era, and you're like, oh my god, that's what a polygon is, and then so you had like the fighting game and everything, blah blah blah, and it was a little popular, but Tekken was its closest rival, and Tekken is basically the rival who's 7 foot tall, knows 12 different martial arts, has like ethnicities molded into himself so he can have the best, strongest feature of every race. Like, you know what I mean? Like, he's basically a human Batman who's giant. And then you have Virtual Fighter, who's like a little person. And it just went... it was no real contender. Like, it was no real contest.
Yeah.
So, yeah, Tekken was the biggest thing. And, yeah, I named Soul Calibur because, like I said, it was popular at some point.
Mm-hmm.
And while people liked Virtual Fighter, you still had Tekken overshadow it completely, so people forgot.
Yeah.
But Soul Calibur was fun as fuck. And then it just kind of declined, and there was actual reasons behind it. It wasn't just because it contended with another game and lost. It was because it was the same company as another game that was more popular, so they wanted to pool the resources. Because in no shape or fashion is it actually a bad game. It's just you could tell that they don't care.
Yeah.
It was it was probably like a spare time thing or a hobby thing for them at that point. All right. And what about you, PT? You got a number 2 or no?
I do. I was trying to decide whether I'd go with. I thought you would have gone with Konami, Josh, because like Silent Hill.
That's fair.
What's it? There's that. There's Contra. They had so much like going. Wait, no. Was Contra Konami?
I think the biggest reason why I just completely forgot about Konami.
I think
I know.
Even though I do agree with you, I just completely forgot.
That is quite a fall from grace. Then,
it's true. They're a company.
Yeah, they had some good bangers too. Like I get Silent Hill. They had Castlevania. They have what's it? They had Contra. They had
Ninja Turtles during the 90s.
Oh yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So like they had some solid stuff, and they had Metal Gear.
It's just as a company, I completely forgot.
Yeah, no, okay. Well, it's because like they did some. They're not as mainstream as like Blizzard and EA, considering like they all kind of did their own thing, whereas Konami stepped with that grungy kind of a feel to most of their games, like dark theme, like Castlevania and Silent Hill and all that.
You're absolutely right. I completely, like I said, I just completely forgot that it was Konami. I remember the games.
Yeah.
Like if you're like, yo, what's your favorite horror genre? I would have been like, yo, Silent Hill, and especially PT. da 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 da. But then it's like, but then you're like, well, there's Konami. I'm like, who? You mean like the little rainbow intro in the beginning?
Oh my god. There's PS3 consoles that are still. Was it PS3 or PS4? I don't remember. But one of the consoles that had PT are being sold now, like unupdated with PT still on it, and those are going for a lot of money.
Don't tell me that.
You can't. Yeah, you can.
Don't tell me that, because I kept it. I kept mine, but then for some fucked up reason, like Blizzard. PlayStation had like an update, and that update took too much space. So then I couldn't get back into it. Like I didn't know how to get back into it. So I had to forcefully just revert everything, got rid of the game. And I was like, no, can I get it back? Because can I? And then like you couldn't. And I was
that's the PT demo what you're talking about, or?
Yeah, the PT demo, the possible game that Kojima was going to come out there.
And instead he came out with Death Stranding Walking Simulator.
No shit.
But I had, you know what? I'm looking them up now, and I knew of the main stuff like Metal Gear and Silent Hill and that kind of stuff for Konami. But yeah, you were right. Contra is the title of theirs. Castlevania is the title of theirs. And apparently they invented Frogger.
Dead or Alive.
Dead or Alive is theirs?
I think so.
Holy shit! Dead or Alive beach volleyball.
Oh my god!
It's a thing. It's a thing.
Yeah. There's a fan base for it. People like to see bouncing.
There's physics
things.
So and those TMNT games you guys were talking about, like Turtles in Time and whatnot. That was all them, wasn't it?
Was Turtles in Time then?
I think so.
Video games. Turtles in Time. Where is it?
Yeah, Turtles in Time 91.
There you go.
Yeah, I told you.
Wow.
Intro games.
So,
Yeah.
but you know what I honestly think fucked Konami over? Kojima. That artsy fartsy motherfucker, man, he fucked him over. He got so crazy and wild with his ideas. Konami was like, "Fuck it, let's just make slot machines."
See, I could almost kind of believe that, but like Castlevania was doing pretty. What's it? I guess you could say pretty shit after the 64 games, because the 64 games didn't really sit well with people. But oddly enough, Symphony of the Night, which everyone seems to love, I can't remember if it came out after those or around the same time, and it sort of got this niche following, and it's still one of their best Castlevania games. But everything after that has just been kind of garbage.
And what sucks is that when you said Konami, all I could think of was Metal Gear and Silent Hill. That was it. And I couldn't think of anything else.
No, they had apparently they had a good start up until like the 2000s, and then after that you're like, what did they make? They have Dance Revolution, Beat Mania. In 99 they have all these Beat Mania, Dance Revolution, Dancing Stage.
But don't forget, Konami is a company where I think a lot of their revenue comes from their pachinko machines. They don't depend on video games anymore. They don't give a shit. So
no, that's it. That's what I'm saying. Like after 2000s, like everything, all that I'm seeing is like just a bunch of.
After 2000, they were like, wait,
games.
After 2000, they were like, we could play on people's fucking addictions. Let's go. It's like,
they like went the EA route, but did it very, very sneakily in the background, and just like gave you these AAA games to mask it.
No, listen, no.
Like,
EA,
here's Metal Gear.
EA was shitty because what they did was they put a fucking slot machine in NBA 2022. Okay, like legit. Like if you wanted to get, a new T-shirt for your fucking character, well, you put your M token in the machine, pull the handle, and the slot machine would tell you if you got it or whatever. So EA did that. Konami took it a step further. They're like, no, we're gonna put a fucking slot machine in a room and have someone go in there and play it. It's like, and that's it. That's the whole game.
I totally agree with you. That's totally worse. It's just I feel like no one really talks about Konami because like. That's like the one thing that they've done, and everyone's like, okay, well, I guess that's all they're doing.
And when they started losing,
it just bombards you with AAA stuff and hopes that you won't pay attention to all the.
When they started losing revenue for it, they were like, okay, fuck it, put an uwu character on it now, make it look at them and talk to them and shit. Yeah, and then I remember, I think we talked about this once, but the biggest insult for me from Konami was when they fucking remastered and redid the entire cutscene of the boss versus Big Boss in Metal Gear Solid 3, like in super HD, and people are like, "Holy fuck, they're remaking this!" And this came out like years ago. And then when the camera zooms out, it's a fucking pachinko machine. It's not a game. Oh. And I was like, "Are you serious, you assholes?"
That's a severe kick in the dick.
I mean, and like as shitty as Metal Gear Solid 5: The Phantom Pain was. It was an unfinished product clearly because Kojima didn't get to wrap his scarf around his neck tightly enough, and then so because he wasn't able to finish that project, what was the first thing they did after they booted Kojima out? Metal Gear Zombie Survival. Yeah. First thing they did was that shit. And what did they do in that game? God. It's like, oh, you want a secondary save slot? $10, please. Yeah. There's 3 slave slots. There's 3 slave slots, but only the first one is unlocked.
Slave slots.
So the first one's unlocked, but if you want the other 2, it's DLC. You got to pay for it.
It's DLC.
Yeah. Oh, wow. Yeah. So, yeah, that's a good choice, man. Konami. Yeah. Fuck Konami.
Completely forgot about them.
Yeah. Oh. The other company I was going to say was Bethesda, but yeah.
but
I feel like that was more so due to recent stuff.
When was Elder Scrolls 6 announced?
5-6 years ago, maybe.
Ooh.
Close to that.
It was announced. It was announced in 2018.
Yeah, 5 years ago.
Holy
Goddamn.
shit! And not a fucking peep from that thing.
Nope.
It's still the same trailer from 2018 on loop. That's all we get. You know why? They're probably sitting down like, fuck, we made a mobile game again. It's like, what do we do? Oh man. So
they probably put all their effort into what was the new one that they came out with, Starfield or
which it just came out, right?
Yeah, apparently it's not doing that well.
No, apparently it's like because they boasted like incredible open world experiences, and it just turned out to be like another No Man's Sky, where it's just click to go here, click to go. It's a fucking Telltale game, but yeah.
That sucks.
Yeah, that is a bit of a shame because it seemed like there was a lot of hype for it, and
no, but I think it's just because it's an early stage right now. Like the game is out, but
is it?
Yeah,
it says September 5th.
Oh, so everything we're seeing is review copy stuff then.
No, it says it came out September 6th. We're the 3rd.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So yeah.
I even see it on Steam right now. It says pre-purchase.
Yeah. So, but everything that I'm seeing, like all the videos, all the gameplay, I guess it's probably just.
They probably like maybe streamers, right?
Yeah,
so
exactly.
Get it.
That's why I thought it came out already because I was already starting to see stuff of people like, it's kind of boring. It's like No Man's Sky and
that sucks.
Whatnot, which
well, apparently No Man's Sky is the shit right now. But it's too late. That ship is sailed. I'm not playing it.
Yeah, no kidding.
Just like Cyberpunk. It's like, hey, we fixed it. Oh, you what? What is that again?
Fixed what? What'd you fix? Go away.
Do the cops actually work now? No, they still do more or less the same thing.
Oh, yeah. That shit cracked me up, man. When a guy was fighting the cops and he decided to barricade himself in a bathroom, he was staring at the door, and a cop just popped up behind him. Like, what the fuck?
They just spawn wherever you're not looking. No sense at all.
And the
they
cops
secretly made it a jump scare game.
and the cops couldn't chase you. They couldn't get in their cars for some reason. They just kept running after you on foot. So you just drive away.
Yeah, pretty much.
That's not very GTA like.
So
it was supposed to be.
Or they immediately just get back in the car and run you over.
My number one for me is of course Ubisoft. I complain a lot about them, quite a bit, and they will always be my number one. I hate them more than EA. They're not as greedy as EA, but I hate them more than EA because their titles were important to me growing up. I really liked them. And there's some sexual harassment shit that went down there too, in EA, and they conducted an internal investigation and said that hey, we fixed it, and that was it. You can still find articles of people saying they didn't change anything. Yeah, but they did an internal investigation, so it's fine.
Oh, thank God.
Yeah.
Don't worry, it's all handled.
Yeah.
Trust.
You guys looked at it. Oh, thank you.
Remember, kids, 8 stars for the company, not for you. The biggest fall from grace for me is 100% Ubisoft because they started off fantastic. I remember when the first Far Cry came out, it was a technological marvel at the time. You were like, holy fuck. Back then, it belonged to Crytek and Crysis, but it was just released by Ubisoft technically. So they didn't come up with the technology, but Ubisoft saw the advantage of it and gave it a platform to say, yo guys, this shit is crazy. You got to play it. And Far Cry was insane for its time. It was so good looking. The first Assassin's Creed, as boring as it was fucking impressive to see the free running, the crowd mechanics, and all that stuff. The graphics also, the color schemes that they did with light and shadow and whatnot was really good. And of course, there's a Tom Clancy franchise, which I've always spoken about that I love. Splinter Cells, Rainbow Six, hardcore tactical shooters, very their games were suited for a niche. Every single game,
Can you give me 2 seconds? I really gotta go take a leak. I'm sorry to interrupt. I really gotta go take a leak. I can't hold it anymore. I'll be right back.
He's been swallowing. He's been drinking too much of that Panana juice.
And we'll be right back.
So, for me, it was so gross to see the path that they went down, man, in terms of games, the annual releases that they just started doing. Hey, here's Far Cry 2, here's Far Cry 3, 4, 5, 6, it just wouldn't fucking stop. Assassin's Creed 1, 2, 3, 4, Black Flag, spin-off, prequel. It's like he was like, okay, whoa, bring the fuck on.
Spin-off, prequel, watch out, multiplayer. Yeah.
And then we had
I get it.
And then the Tom Clancy franchise, it just ran that thing into the fucking ground as quick and hard as fast as they could. They came out with The Division, which was beautiful, New York setting, elite soldiers.
But The Division had that what was it, the controversy where they showed off where when they had to showcase it, it looked phenomenal, but then the actual game was kind of
that was Watch Dogs.
Yeah,
that was Watch Dogs.
Oh no! Didn't it happen? I definitely Watch Dogs, but didn't it happen to Division 2?
The Division. What happened was in the E3 trailer, the map that you would use to navigate, it would like pop up and you would be standing in it and you would see where you're going and then pick your direction. Whereas in the game, it's just a screen that pops up and it's your map. There's no like you're not in the map like in the fucking E3 trailer. You know what I mean? So
I see.
so the Division 1 came out and it was fantastic and all that stuff. And then the Division 2 came out, and all of a sudden, your character has pink hair. He doesn't believe in wearing long pants anymore. He only wants to wear shorts. Nice. And it's like, and all that shit, you know? And then they had Rainbow Six, the Rainbow Six titles that kept coming out with new operators. And
Watch Dogs.
I'll get to Watch Dogs. Hang the fuck on. Wait.
That seemed like it would have been a fun
I'll get to
series.
Watch Dogs.
The first one was okay, but oh my god.
So and then you had the Rainbow Six franchise, which all of a sudden started off starter pack like was fantastic. Great operators, great abilities, super competitive, really good. And like now, all of a sudden, we have operators that could turn invisible. You know, like an operator in the base game. His name is Sledge. His ability is to have a sledgehammer. That's it.
Yeah.
And now we have people that are flying on jetpacks and they have fucking invisibility camos and it's just it's stupid.
They didn't. What was their whole thing? They want to try and release out like 50 characters on each side or 100 characters.
To have a total of
side.
100 characters.
I think they went a little bit too hard on that one.
Oh, it was all monetization. All monetization.
Oh, for sure. And now they're starting to run out of ideas, and they're looking at Overwatch.
Oh yeah, 100%. I'm waiting for the character. I think it already exists. Yeah, there's one character whose special ability is to fucking knee slide around everywhere. Like it's the dumbest fucking thing I've ever seen. Dumbest shit I've ever seen. And Watch Dogs. Big controversy, Watch Dogs. The first one came out. Yep. It looked fantastic at E3. And then when the game came out, you're like, what the fuck is this garbage? And you know what the worst part is about that? A couple of years later, when you on PC, if you go into the executive files, you can actually activate abilities to make the game look like that. They dumbed it down on purpose to increase frame rate. You know what I mean? They didn't allow people with a strong enough PC to go and do it on their own. I don't know why. And then there was a controversial Rainbow Six, the same thing. It looked fantastic in the E3 trailer, and then when the game came out, they were like, "Oh, okay, wow, the wall does not break like that. They all break the exact same way. It's not dynamic at all." And they were the biggest offenders for that, actually. Like having an E3 trailer that's called gameplay, and then when you get the actual game, it looks nothing like the fucking gameplay. To me, they were the biggest offenders for pulling that stunt. And Watch Dogs 1 came out, and it was you know, it was interesting, but it wasn't enough. I was hoping they would develop on it. And then Watch Dogs 2 came out, which was like San Francisco, woke people, genderisms everywhere. My character has like Beats headphones whenever he's running around, sprinting. He has like a little fanny pack and all that shit. It's like, okay, yeah, no, I don't feel super badass right now. I feel like I smell like open butt, and
smell like open.
And then the funniest thing ever is that Watch Dog Legions came out. I completely forgot that fucking game existed. I was like, holy shit, that's true. There's a Watch Dog based in the UK. I completely forgot about that. And the title's dead now. Assassin's Creed, they ran it into the ground. They announced that they wanted to cancel their annual releases, but they just went right back to it and all the same shit. So Ubisoft, fuck you.
Wait, the past, I haven't been paying attention to all the new ones, but they have been yearly releases?
No, as of Valhalla, I think it was. They said they no longer wanted to do an annual release.
Okay.
For their games, not just Assassin's Creed.
Okay. So
and then they announced the Mirage, which is coming out next week or something. And And then, but they already have like 3 Assassin's Creed games in production. They said, and it's like, okay, so you're planning fucking annual releases again, and everyone's asking them the same question: where the fuck is Splinter Cell? You know, we're waiting for Splinter Cell, and there's one answer for that. They're like, oh, it's coming. We just don't know how to fucking monetize it yet.
Oh, I want to put a small. I want to just put a small little asterisk note real fast. I'm gonna name Valve because where's my left for the 3?
Oh, no kidding. No shit. Ever since they came out with the Steam store and like what's it, TF2 and like buying stuff online, they just said we don't have to make another game. People are just gonna buy it.
What's really funny is that if you put Gabe Newell and J.J.R. Martin next to each other, 2 guys that just refuse to finish their fucking product, they look the same too. It's like, they're like, hey, I don't need to do anything else anymore. Fuck you guys. It's like,
bro.
Oh, no kidding.
Oh man.
So that's agree.
This was weird because I went through like a good memories followed by immediately shit memories. So, and if you had to say real quick, who do you think is a stand-up developer today? Who would that be for you guys? I don't think I have one.
Like every time I can't think of any right now. There hasn't been like a solid.
I don't know about stand-up.
Yeah,
I would say Capcom is improving at least the quality of their shit.
Yeah,
they're still greedy though, but at least they're improving. Like the new Resident Evil remakes, Resident Evil Village, Street Fighter 6. Like they're all at least improvements.
Yeah, considering the
fact they have an RE engine, like they're at least improving. Is just they're still greedy.
Yeah,
and like NetherRealm is very steady.
Yeah,
they're like, we're gonna have Mortal Kombat until we just don't. They're gonna have something else until we just don't. And they're gonna have this until we just don't.
I feel like it's a cheap answer, but I feel like Nintendo would be a good one.
Nintendo's the one who sits on the fence. Nintendo's like a fence sitter. They're basically like a community with giant gates. They're a giant gated community.
Their games are good, but the way they handle the way they had handled the whole streaming thing way back in the day and trying to like get money from the streamers, that was a low blow. That's where I lost a lot of respect for them.
They're like the type of people that have zero problem taking from you, but they don't want to share anything.
No, exactly. They're Metallica.
Yeah. They're Metallica.
Oh wow!
And because I said that now, I'm gonna get sued.
Take that, LimeWire or whatever.
Was it Napster? Yeah, it was Napster.
That was it. Napster, LimeWire.
Well, it was a good talk, boys. I appreciate it. Next time, I say we cover something much more controversial. Something that might get us canceled or some sorts.
Nice.
Oh, let's do it. Let's get canceled. Let's get demonetized before we even get monetized.
Exactly.
That's the way to do it.
Why try?
I was looking at my Twitch revenue for this year so far to see how much I would have made. I think I made like $1.20 or something.
You know that the whole Prime the Prime subscriptions that apparently got reduced down now.
Pat.
To what? It was already nothing.
Apparently you got like, what was it, $6 or $7 or something like that?
I think that's just a steady trend.
$3.
That's like a steady trend with companies. That the second they start doing well, they're like, you know what? We could give you less for giving us money now. It's like Uber. It's after their peak, all of a sudden they're giving less